You know that feeling when you're trying to make a big change in your life? Maybe get healthier, learn a skill, or, finally tackle that huge
Oh,
project.
yeah, you set these massive goals, feel super motivated for maybe a week.
And then, poof, it just fizzles out. We've all been there, haven't we?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But what if the answer isn't thinking bigger, but actually thinking smaller?
It sounds almost backward, doesn't it? We're always told to aim high.
It's a powerful idea, though. We chase these huge efforts, but maybe the real secret, the thing we're diving into today, is in those tiny, seemingly insignificant actions.
I think you're right. And it's something that feels a bit counterintuitive at first. So today we're taking a deep dive into an incredible source that really reshaped our thinking on personal change, atomic habits.
Yeah, we're going to pull out the core insights, looking at how these tiny, tiny changes can compound over time into really remarkable results.
Exactly. Our mission for you today is basically to give you a shortcut, a way to understand the surprising power of these small shifts, and maybe why they're the most important thing you can actually control for lasting change.
And to kick things off, let's talk about the author's own story. It's
What?
pretty compelling. Imagine being a top high school baseball player, dreams of going pro,
Yeah.
then bam, one moment changes everything. A baseball bat, flying rogue, hits him right in the face.
Oh, wow. That sounds horrific.
It was severe brain injury, repeated seizures, even a medically induced coma, and then a long, incredibly painful recovery.
Gosh. And that's where the idea for the book came from.
Well, it certainly shaped his perspective profoundly. He talks about months of physical therapy just to walk in a straight line.
Wow.
And the sort of humiliation of getting cut from the varsity team, sent down to junior varsity. But the real point isn't just the setback.
Right.
It's how he came back. Exactly. It's a powerful illustration of how these consistent small habits, day after day, can turn what seems like an unimaginable future into reality. It wasn't one giant leap.
So what did he do? What were these small habits?
He started lifting weights really
Yeah.
consistently, went from about 170 pounds to a lean 200. Eventually became team captain in college
No way.
and even an academic All-American. But he stresses there wasn't one defining moment. It was this gradual evolution. Lots of small wins, tiny breakthroughs adding up.
And he used that same idea later on.
Yep. Applied the exact same strategy to starting his business and eventually writing this very book we're digging into.
So that word atomic, it's not just about being small then.
Not at all. It's actually got this brilliant double meaning. On one hand, yes, it means an extremely small amount of a thing, like the single irreducible unit of a bigger system.
Okay.
But atomic also means the source of immense energy or power,
Yeah.
like nuclear power.
Okay, so tiny things with huge potential power.
Precisely. And our deep dive today is all about understanding how these tiny units, these atomic habits, really hold that immense power.
It makes me think of that story about the British cycling team, the aggregation of marginal gains.
Oh, that's a perfect example. For nearly 100 years, they were just,
Yeah.
okay, mediocre, really.
Yeah, I remember reading they'd only won one Olympic gold since 1908, never won the Tour de France.
Right. Then in 2003, this new performance director, Dave Brailsford, comes in with this idea of marginal gains, improving everything by just 1%.
And everything meant everything.
Literally everything. Obvious stuff like the bike seats, the tires, but also really subtle things. The type of massage gel the riders used.
Seriously, gel.
Yep. How the athletes washed their hands to cut down on illness. Even the pillows and mattresses they slept on for better recovery. Nothing was too small.
And the results?
Astonishing. Within 5 years, they were dominating, winning Olympic golds left and right. And then, in 2012, a British cyclist finally won the Tour de France. First time in 110 years.
Wow. Just from those tiny 1% changes.
It shows how small shifts create massive impact when they compound.
It's incredible how time magnifies those small margins, isn't it? Like compound interest in finance. Habits multiply over time.
For better or for worse.
Right. On the positive side, you accomplish one extra task a day. Seems small, but over a career, it's huge.
Or like Warren Buffett says about knowledge building up like compound interest, reading one new idea, mastering a small skill.
Even just being a little nicer in your daily interactions, over time that builds incredibly strong relationships.
But it's a double-edged sword, as you said. Negative compounding is just as powerful.
Yeah, procrastination, putting off small tasks, unhealthy eating, it all adds up against you.
Which leads to a really common frustration, doesn't it? Why do we get discouraged when we're trying to build good habits, but the results don't show up right away.
Ah, the plateau of latent potential. This is such a key idea.
It really is. Results are often delayed, and that's hard. The book uses this brilliant ice cube analogy.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I remember this one.
Imagine an ice cube in a cold room, say 25 degrees Fahrenheit. You start warming the room. 26 degrees, 27, 28.
Still just a block of ice.
Exactly. 29, 30, 31 degrees. Still nothing visible has changed, even though you've been putting in energy, raising the temperature.
You're doing the work, but seeing zero results. That's the frustrating part.
Precisely. Then you hit 32 degrees, and boom, it starts to melt.
That 1 degree shift, which seems no different from the previous ones, unlocks this huge change.
That's the valley of disappointment. You're putting in the work for weeks, maybe months. No visible results. But the work isn't wasted. It's being stored, like potential energy.
It's building up, waiting for that breakthrough point. That's such a helpful way to think about it when you feel stuck.
And this leads us to another really fundamental shift in perspective, away from just goals and towards systems.
Right. We're always told set specific, actionable goals, smart goals, all that.
And goals aren't bad, but the source argues pretty strongly that results have very little to do with the goals themselves.
And almost everything to do with the systems we follow.
Exactly. Think about a musician. Their goal might be to play a new piece perfectly, but their system is how often they practice, how they break down tricky measures, the techniques they use.
Or a basketball coach. Their goal is the championship, sure, but they focus on the system. Daily practice, running drills, improving skills.
You wouldn't spend the whole game just staring at the scoreboard, right?
Yeah.
Bill Walsh, the famous coach, said, "The score takes care of itself." If you run the system well.
So goals give you direction, but the system is what actually makes the progress.
And there are some real problems with being too goal-focused. First, achieving a goal only changes your life for that moment.
Right, like cleaning a messy room once doesn't keep it clean. You need a system for tidying up regularly.
Exactly. The problem is often the underlying system that causes the results. Fix the inputs, the system and the outputs tend to fix themselves.
And the other issue, this one really hits home for me, is how goals can restrict happiness.
Yeah, the once I achieve X, then I'll be happy trap.
Yeah, it constantly pushes happiness off into the future, always chasing the next milestone.
And it sets up this kind of either-or conflict. Either you succeed and you're happy, or you fail and you're a disappointment, which is pretty limiting.
It really is. There are so many ways to find success or satisfaction along the way, not just hitting one specific target.
Which brings us to maybe the biggest aha moment in the whole approach.
Yeah.
Identity-based habits.
This is huge. Instead of focusing on the outcome, what you want to achieve.
Focus on your identity, who you wish to become.
Okay, explain that more. How does that work in practice?
Think about the smoker analogy he uses. Someone trying to quit might say, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit."
Okay, seems reasonable.
But embedded in that is the belief, I'm still a smoker, I'm just resisting right now.
Ah, I see. The identity hasn't shifted.
Right. Now contrast that with someone who says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker."
That feels different, more definite.
It's a declaration of a new identity. That internal shift, that reframing, is incredibly powerful.
There's another great story about that, the entrepreneur Brian Clark and his fingernails.
Oh yeah, that's a fantastic one. He chewed his nails his whole life,
Yeah.
finally stopped through sheer willpower.
Okay, tough, but doable.
But then he did something unexpected. He got his first ever professional manicure.
Huh, why?
His nails looked nice, genuinely nice, for the first time. And he felt proud of them. That feeling of pride was like a vote for his new identity as someone with nice nails.
And that feeling made the difference.
Completely. He never chewed them again. It wasn't just about not doing the bad habit. It was about embracing the identity of someone who didn't need to.
It really boils down to your self-story, doesn't it? The things we tell ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
We
man.
put ourselves in boxes. I'm terrible with directions. I'm just not a morning person.
And those become these mental grooves. We almost subconsciously resist doing things that don't fit that image.
But here's the empowering part.
Yeah.
Every habit, every action is like a suggestion to yourself. Hey, maybe this is who I am.
So finishing a book suggests you're a reader.
Going to the gym suggests you're someone who exercises.
Yeah.
Each action is like casting a vote for the type of person you want to become.
I love that casting votes idea. It makes small actions feel significant.
There's the story of the friend who lost over 100 pounds. Her guiding question was simple.
What was it?
What would a healthy person do right now in this situation?
Ah. So, walk versus take a cab. Salad versus burrito.
Exactly. That question guided her small, daily choices.
Yeah.
And by consistently acting like a healthy person,
She eventually became one.
that's it.
Yeah.
The real power of habits isn't just the external results. It's that they can change your fundamental beliefs about yourself.
Okay, so we understand why these identity-based habits matter, but how do habits actually form? How do they become automatic?
Well, the basic understanding goes way back. 1898, psychologist Edward Thorndike and his cat experiment.
Right, the puzzle boxes.
Yeah. He found that behaviors followed by satisfying consequences tend to be repeated. Pretty fundamental.
And habits are basically the brain's way of being efficient.
Exactly. Mental shortcuts learned from experience. Your conscious mind can only focus on one thing at a time. It's a bottleneck.
So the brain automates stuff.
It pawns off routine tasks to the non-conscious mind, turns them into habits. This frees up your conscious attention for new challenges, reduces cognitive load.
Which leads us to the famous habit loop.
The foundation of it all
Yeah.
is this neurological feedback loop that runs constantly. 4 key stages.
Okay, lay them out.
First, the cue.
Yeah.
That's the trigger. It predicts a reward is coming.
Like seeing cookies on the counter.
Perfect example. Second, the craving. That's the motivation, the desire for the reward. The cue promises the wanting of the cookie.
Makes sense.
For the response, that's the actual habit you perform. Eating the cookie. This depends on motivation, ability, how easy it is.
And finally?
The reward, the satisfaction you get from eating the cookie. This satisfies the craving and, crucially, teaches your brain, hey, this sequence worked. Let's remember it.
Cue, craving, response, reward. That cycle creates the automatic habit.
Precisely. And from this loop, the source gives us the 4 laws of behavior change. Simple rules to build better habits.
Okay, what are they?
1, make it obvious. That targets the cue.
2.
2, make it attractive. Targets the craving.
3.
3, make it easy.
Yeah.
Targets the response.
4.
4, make it satisfying. Targets the reward.
Obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into the first one. Make it obvious.
Right. So our brains are prediction machines, constantly scanning for cues. But the cues for our regular habits, they often become invisible over time.
Like the treats on the counter or your phone buzzing in your pocket, you just react without thinking.
Exactly. We overlook them.
Yeah.
And a lot of our failures in changing behavior come from just, well, a lack of self-awareness about these triggers.
There's that amazing story about the paramedic's intuition.
Oh, yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
She looked at her father-in-law, who felt totally fine, and instantly knew he was having a heart attack.
Oh.
Years of experience had trained her brain to subconsciously recognize these incredibly subtle patterns in blood distribution in the face. Cues an untrained person would completely miss.
Wow. It's like experts develop this heightened awareness of critical cues.
We see it everywhere.
Mhm.
Military analysts spotting missile threats, museum curators identifying fakes, radiologists predicting strokes based on scans. Their brains are tuned to the obvious for them.
It's like that simple packing list example, too. Your wife calling things out loud.
Yeah, got my keys, got my wallet, got my glasses, got my husband.
Yeah.
That simple act of making it conscious, making it obvious, prevents forgetting something important.
So a practical way to use this is with implementation intentions.
Definitely. Giving your habits a specific time and place, it's surprisingly effective.
There was that study you mentioned.
Right, the exercise study. People who made a specific plan when and where they'd exercise were way more likely to follow through. Like 91% success rate versus maybe 35, 38% for those who didn't specify.
So the formula is just, I will behavior at time and location.
Simple as that. I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my kitchen. Crystal clear. No ambiguity.
And starting on a Monday, or the first of the month, that gives it a little boost too.
Seems to. That fresh start effect leverages our natural hope and motivation around new beginnings.
And being clear, like, that helps you say no to other things,
Yeah.
right, because you know what you're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. Clarity helps fight distractions. Then there's habit stacking.
Building on what you already do. This one feels really practical.
Super practical. The formula. After current habit, I will new habit.
Like, after I brush my teeth, I will floss one tooth.
Perfect. Or, after I pour my morning coffee, I will text one friend. You link the new desired behavior to an existing automatic one.
Specificity matters here too, though. You mentioned your push-up example.
Oh yeah. When I take a break for lunch, I will do 10 push-ups. Too vague. Didn't stick.
But changing it to.
When I close my laptop for lunch, I will do 10 push-ups next to my desk. That specificity removed the ambiguity, made the cue crystal clear. Consistency shot way up.
So making the cue obvious is crucial, and a huge part of that is designing your environment.
Massively important.
Yeah.
Your environment is like this invisible hand shaping your behavior constantly. Kurt Lewin's idea. Behavior is a function of the person in their environment. B equals F, P E.
That hospital cafeteria study is wild, just moving the water bottles.
Made them more obvious. Place water next to every cash register and food station. Didn't say a word to anyone.
And water sales jumped over 25%, soda sales dropped, just by changing the environment.
We see it in stores all the time. Stuff at eye level sells more. End caps drive huge sales, like 45% of Coke sales from those end-of-aisle displays.
Yeah.
We just grab what's obvious.
Because vision is our dominant sense, right? Most of our sensory receptors are for sight.
Roughly 10 million out of 11 million.
Yeah.
So visual cues are the biggest catalyst for our behavior. Make the cues for good habits visual and obvious.
Like the fly sticker in the urinals at that airport. Reduced cleaning costs just by giving people something obvious to aim at.
Exactly. Or the author finally eating apples daily, just by moving them from the hidden crisper drawer to a bowl right there on the counter. Out of sight, out of mind is literally true for habits.
And the idea of one space, one use.
Yeah, that helps create clear contextual cues. He struggled to switch off from work when his couch was also his office.
Having a separate office created a clear boundary. This space is for work, this space is for relaxing.
Even if space is limited, you can create zones. This chair is only for reading. This small desk is only for writing. The context primes the habit.
Okay, so that's making good habits obvious. What about breaking bad habits? The inversion of the first law.
Make it invisible. This is basically the secret to self-control. It's not about having more willpower.
It's about avoiding the trigger in the first place. The Vietnam heroin study is the starkest example.
Absolutely unbelievable results. 15–20% of U.S. soldiers addicted in Vietnam, where the cues were everywhere.
When they came home.
Only 5% relapse within a year, 12% within 3 years. It completely shattered the idea that addiction was purely a personal failing.
Because the environment changed, the cues disappeared.
Exactly. Compare that to typical rehab patients who go back to their old environment, their old cues. 90% relapse rate. It shows the power of the environment.
So disciplined people aren't necessarily stronger.
They're just better at structuring their lives to avoid tempting situations. They make the cues for their bad habits invisible.
Because resisting temptation constantly is exhausting, right? Willpower is finite.
It's a short-term strategy at best. Once those mental grooves for a habit are carved, they're incredibly hard to just erase. You really are a product of your environment.
So the practical advice is cut bad habits off at the source, reduce exposure to the cue,
Want to stop mindlessly checking your phone? Leave it in another room for chunks of the day.
feeling jealous looking at social media, unfollow accounts that trigger it, can't stop watching TV in bed, move the TV out of the bedroom.
Unplug the gaming console and put it in a closet after playing. Remove that single obvious cue, and often the entire habit just fades away because the loop never starts.
That's incredibly powerful. Okay, law 1, make it obvious. Law 2 is make it attractive. How does that work?
This taps into the craving part of the loop, and often what makes something attractive, especially in the modern world, relates to supernormal stimuli.
Supernormal stimuli, what's that?
It's basically an exaggerated version of something we naturally find appealing. The example is Nico Tinbergen's study on herring gulls.
Right, they preferred pecking at a fake beak with exaggerated red stripes over their own mother's beak.
Exactly. Because it amplified the feature they were naturally drawn to. Our world is full of these.
Like junk food engineered to be perfectly salty, sweet, and fatty.
Yes. Or mannequins with impossible proportions, social media likes giving constant validation, online porn, photoshopped ads. These things hijack our natural desires, making them hyper-attractive and driving habits.
And this ties into dopamine.
Critically, dopamine isn't just released when you experience pleasure. It's released in anticipation of a reward. When you see the cue and expect something good, dopamine spikes, creating that desire, that craving, that motivates you to act.
So how do we use this? How do we make good habits more attractive? One way is temptation bundling.
Yes. Linking something you want to do with something you need to do.
The engineer who hacked his exercise bike in Netflix.
Ronan Byrne. Brilliant. His stationary bike was hooked up to his laptop. Netflix only played if he was cycling above a certain speed.
Slow down, the show pauses. That's genius.
He called it eliminating obesity one Netflix binge at a time. He bundled the temptation, watching Netflix, with the desired habit, exercising.
Beyond hacks like that, what else makes things attractive? The power of social norms seems huge here.
Immense. We're fundamentally social creatures. We want to fit in, bond, earn approval. It's wired deep from our evolutionary history for survival.
The Polgar sisters and chess, that's an extreme example.
It really is. Their father believed genius was made, not born. He immersed his daughters in chess. Their home was filled with chess books, constant games, chess players visiting.
So for them, being obsessed with chess was normal, attractive even.
Totally normal, even enjoyable. They loved it. One daughter was found playing chess in the bathroom late at night because she just couldn't get enough. It was the culture they grew up in.
And we tend to imitate people around us.
Absolutely. We imitate three groups especially. The close, family, friends, the majority cultural norms, and the powerful, those with status and prestige.
The study about friends and obesity is striking. If a close friend becomes obese,
Your own risk increases by 57%. We pick up habits from those around us, often unconsciously. If one partner loses weight, the other often does too.
so a practical tip is to join a group where your desired behavior is the norm.
Exactly. Find a tribe where the habit you want is just what people do. Want to get fit but love gaming? Maybe nerd fitness is your tribe.
Belonging makes it easier to sustain motivation and helps embed that new identity. We are runners, we are writers.
Precisely. Now the inversion. How do you make a bad habit unattractive?
This is about reframing your mindset, isn't it? Changing the associations.
Yes. Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking is a prime example. It doesn't focus on the negatives of smoking as much as it dismantles the perceived benefits.
How so?
It tells you, smoking doesn't actually relieve stress. It causes it. You don't need it to be social. Cigarettes offer you nothing positive. It systematically reframes every cue.
So by the end, the idea of smoking seems unattractive, even ridiculous.
Exactly. If you genuinely believe a habit offers no benefits, the craving disappears. Why would you want something that does nothing for you?
It connects back to those underlying motives, too. Our cravings are surface level.
Right. We don't intrinsically crave smoking or scrolling Instagram. We crave what we believe those things give us: stress relief, connection, avoiding boredom, social approval.
And our behavior depends on how we interpret the cues. The same cigarette can trigger craving or disgust depending on our prediction.
Which means we can actually reprogram our brains to enjoy hard habits, or at least make them less unattractive.
How? Just telling yourself you like it.
Sometimes it's a simple mindset shift. Instead of, I have to go for a run, try, I get to go for a run. Reframing it as an opportunity, not a chore.
Or reframing the benefits. Exercise isn't just effort, it's building strength and energy. Saving money isn't sacrifice, it's buying future freedom.
Exactly. And creating motivation rituals helps too, like the boxer who put on headphones even without music, and it instantly triggered his focus mode because he'd conditioned that association.
Or the author's pregame baseball ritual, it signals it's time to perform.
It makes the start of the habit more attractive by linking it to a feeling of focus or readiness.
Okay, so we've made it obvious, made it attractive. Now, law 3. Make it easy. This seems straightforward, but there are nuances.
Big time. And one key insight here is about prioritizing quantity over quality, especially at the beginning.
The photography class example.
Professor Jerry Wilsman divided his class. One group graded on the quantity of photos submitted, the other on producing one single perfect photo.
And the quantity group ended up taking all the best pictures.
Yep. Why? Because they're constantly shooting, experimenting, making mistakes, learning by doing. The quality group got bogged down in perfecting theory, paralyzed by the need for perfection.
Which ties into the idea of motion versus action.
Crucial distinction. Motion is planning, researching, strategizing. It feels productive.
But it doesn't actually produce a result.
Exactly. Action is the behavior that delivers the outcome. Practicing the presentation, writing the pages, making the sales calls. Motion lets us feel like we're making progress without risking failure.
We can get stuck in motion forever.
Very easily. And for habits to stick, it's the frequency of the action that matters most. You need repetitions, maybe hundreds of thousands, for it to become automatic, not just time passing.
So how do we make the action, the response, easier? Reduce friction.
That's the core principle. Make good habits the path of least resistance. Think about lean manufacturing in Japan.
They obsessed over eliminating wasted effort.
Every tiny bit. Redesigning workspaces so workers didn't have to twist and turn to reach tools. Adding by subtracting friction led to huge efficiency gains.
We can apply that personally. Like prepping meals in advance makes healthy eating easier.
Laying out your workout clothes the night before makes starting your exercise easier, priming your environment to make the future action effortless.
Technology often does this for us, sometimes for bad habits too.
Right. Voice assistants make playing music frictionless. But Netflix auto-playing the next episode makes stopping watching harder than continuing. It removes friction from the undesired habit.
So if making it easy builds good habits, the inversion is make it difficult for bad habits.
Exactly. Increase the friction for things you want to avoid. This is where commitment devices come in.
Like Victor Hugo locking away his clothes?
The ultimate commitment device. To finish The Hunchback of Notre Dame, he had his assistant lock away all his clothes except a large shawl. He literally couldn't go outside.
Forcing him to stay inside and write, that's extreme.
But effective. A commitment device is simply a choice you make now that locks in your behavior later, restricting bad habits.
Like buying snacks in small, single-serving packages instead of a giant bag. Adds friction to overeating.
Or voluntarily putting yourself on a casino's banned list. Or your friend using an outlet timer to kill the internet router at 10 p.m.
Right, forces him to stop working or browsing and go to bed. It uses your good intentions now to overcome future temptation.
And another powerful way to make things easy or difficult is automation.
Setting things up once to work automatically.
Think of John Henry Patterson and the first cash register in 1884. His store was losing money from employee theft.
So he bought a register.
Right, which automatically tracked sales and made theft practically impossible. That one purchase automated ethical behavior and saved his business.
Technology can automate good habits too, like automatic bill payments or retirement savings contributions.
Huge impact from a one-time setup. But as we said, tech also automates bad habits. Autoplay, endless scroll. When the effort is zero, habits form incredibly easily.
Okay, obvious, attractive, easy. The final law is make it satisfying. This feels crucial for making habits stick long term.
It absolutely is. This is the cardinal rule of behavior change. What is rewarded is repeated. What is punished is avoided. Simple as that.
But the challenge is good habits often have delayed rewards. You exercise today, but you don't get fit today.
Exactly. Whereas bad habits often have immediate rewards. Smoking relieves stress now. Eating junk food tastes good now. Our brains are wired for that immediate gratification,
Hyperbolic discounting, right? We value immediate rewards much more highly than future ones.
which makes sticking to habits with delayed benefits really hard. So the trick is to find a way to bring the reward forward.
Like the hand-washing study in Pakistan?
Yeah, Stephen Luby. People knew they should wash their hands but weren't consistent. Partnering with Procter & Gamble, they provided Safeguard soap.
What was special about it?
It lathered well and smelled nice. It made the act of hand washing slightly more pleasurable, more satisfying in the moment.
And that small bit of immediate satisfaction dramatically improved consistency.
It did. That immediate positive sensory feedback reinforced the habit.
So we need to find ways to give ourselves immediate positive feedback for good habits, feel successful right away.
Even in a small way, these immediate rewards keep you motivated while the big delayed rewards are still accumulating in the background.
But the reward needs to align with the habit, right? Don't reward exercise with a giant pizza.
Exactly. Choose short-term rewards that reinforce your desired identity, not conflict with it. Maybe a relaxing bath after a tough workout, or putting money saved towards a future goal.
Habit tracking is a powerful way to make things satisfying, too.
Yes. It links back to making progress obvious, but the act of tracking itself can be satisfying. Trent Dersmid, the stockbroker.
The paper clips.
2 jars, 120 paper clips in one. Make a sales call, move a clip to the other jar. Simple visual proof of progress.
And he became super successful doing that.
Brought in $5 million for his firm within 18 months. Because that visual feedback, seeing the clips move, was immediately satisfying and reinforced the behavior.
Like putting an X on the calendar after you meditate or work out. You don't want to break the chain.
Exactly. That visual measure provides immediate proof you're moving forward. Research shows people who track their progress are more likely to improve. The tracking itself becomes a reward.
And make the tracking easy, right? Automate if possible, or stack it onto another habit.
After I finish my workout, I will record it in my log. Simple.
Another key idea for staying on track, never miss twice.
So important. Everyone slips up. Everyone misses a day. The first mistake rarely ruins you.
It's the second mistake that's dangerous.
Yes. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the beginning of a new negative pattern. It's the spiral downwards. Successful people aren't perfect. They just get back on track quickly.
The breaking of the habit doesn't matter nearly as much as how quickly you reclaim it.
Exactly right. Now, the inversion. Make it unsatisfying. How do you make bad habits painful or costly?
Pain drives avoidance, just like satisfaction drives repetition. The more immediate the consequence, the better we learn.
Roger Fisher's idea about the nuclear launch codes in the cyanide pill. That's a terrifyingly effective illustration.
Making the cost of launching nuclear weapons immediate and visceral for the president by having him kill a volunteer first.
The Pentagon basically said, that would work too well. He might never push the button. The immediate unbearable cost ensures avoidance.
We see this with laws, too. Seatbelt laws. Usage skyrocketed once fines and enforcement became common.
The law acts as a social contract, with immediate consequences for breaking it. We can create personal versions of this with an accountability partner or a habit contract.
A formal agreement about your habit with a punishment for failing.
Signed by someone who will hold you to it. Brian Harris, trying to lose weight, made a contract. Miss logging his food. Pay his trainer $200. Miss his sprints.
Wear his rival football team's hat all day.
Ouch! That immediate social cost or financial cost makes skipping the habit much less appealing.
Just knowing someone is watching can be enough. You don't want to let them down or look bad.
Margaret chose Song a Day Challenge with a friend. Thomas Frank's automated tweet threatening to call himself lazy and pay people $5 if he doesn't wake up on time. It creates immediate negative feedback for inaction.
Okay, those are the 4 laws. Obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying, and their inversions. What about staying motivated long term? Things get boring.
That's a huge challenge. We need to talk about the Goldilocks rule.
Not too hard, not too easy, just right.
Exactly. Humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of our current abilities. Challenging enough to be interesting, but not so hard we get discouraged. Manageable difficulty.
Like Steve Martin developing his comedy routine, adding just a minute or 2 of new material each year.
Kept enough guaranteed laughs to stay confident, but pushed himself just enough with new stuff to stay engaged and improve. Just enough success, just enough failure.
But eventually, even optimally challenging tasks can become routine, right? Boredom sets in.
And that, according to the source, is the greatest threat to success. Not failure, but boredom. Mastery requires practice, and practice becomes repetitive.
So the successful people are the ones who find a way to deal with the boredom.
They find a way to show up even when it's not exciting. They fall in love with boredom, or at least fall in love with the process of showing up consistently. Professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way.
Pat Riley's CBE program with the Lakers fits here too. Career best effort.
A brilliant system for continuous, manageable improvement. Track key stats. Ask players to improve their average by just 1% each season.
Tiny improvements, consistently applied, led to championships. It's atomic habits in action at a team level.
And it highlights the need to continually review and adjust. Improvement isn't about achieving perfection and then stopping.
Like Chris Rock reviewing recordings of his shows to see which jerks landed.
Or executives keeping decision journals to learn from past choices. The author does an annual integrity report reviewing his values and actions. These reflection practices prevent standards from slipping.
It keeps you conscious of the small things. So the ultimate truth isn't about ignoring your nature.
No, genes matter. They might indicate what activities come a bit more naturally to you, where your efforts might yield better results, but they don't eliminate the need for hard work.
The advice is to pick habits that align with your personality and skills. Work hard on the things that come easy, relatively speaking. Lean into your strengths.
Exactly. Find the intersection of your natural inclinations and the habits you want to build.
Okay, so wrapping up. We've seen how these tiny atomic changes really can lead to monumental shifts over time.
We've dug into why systems trump goals, the power of identity-based change, and those 4 laws. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying.
And importantly, they're inversions for breaking bad habits. Make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying.
It provides a really practical toolkit for change.
It really does. And here's a final provocative thought from the source to chew on. It's this equation. Satisfaction, liking, wanting.
Ooh, okay. Explain that.
If your wants constantly grow faster than what you currently like or achieve, you'll always feel unsatisfied, right? The goalposts keep moving.
Ah, the hedonic treadmill.
Pretty much. The author talks about how getting his first 1,000 email subscribers felt like this massive achievement. Huge win.
Yeah.
Years later, getting 1,000 new subscribers every day felt normal, routine. It provided almost no pleasure. His wanting had expanded.
That's fascinating. How often do we let our desires just keep expanding, making our actual progress feel unremarkable? We stop appreciating the gains.
Exactly. So the ultimate goal isn't just achieving more. Maybe it's also about finding satisfaction in the process, in the consistent effort itself, and appreciating how far you've come.
What normal progress in your own life are you maybe taking for granted or no longer celebrating? It's a good question to ask.
Because small habits don't just add up, they compound. It's truly remarkable what you can build if you just don't stop.
So, the final question for you listening is, what's one tiny atomic habit you're ready to start, or maybe adjust today? What's one small vote you can cast for the person you want to become?